Hey, so New Gods movie was just announced, and they've attached Ava DuVernay to direct the film. Now, first and foremost, she's a good choice for director, but at the same time, they keep picking these directors that have done films that are too serious. Her whole thematic approach might be just more serious in tone. And then also there's questions of, is it connected to the DCEU? Hopefully it is. Hopefully Steppenwolf is mentioned. Hopefully the characters are kind of based around the Forever People, or they could go the route of Orion, Light Ray, kind of his gang. That's what me personally, I'm more focused on Orion. I think that would be better. But at the same time, you could do a film about the Forever People. They could turn into the Infinity Man. The only problem is, a lot of those New God storylines are very much based around having mother boxes. And in this DCEU, we've kind of established that mother boxes, there's only a few of them on Earth, and there's not really that many of them like there is in the comic books. And they're actually quite different to how they are in the comic books. So we'll have to see really what they do about that, because Orion requires a mother box to mask his appearance, but at the same time, most of the time he wears a mask. So maybe they'll just make him wear a mask, and they'll have a scene where he takes his mask off and reveals that he's kind of turning into his dad, kind of thing. And maybe that will be the first kind of glimpse of how Darkseid is actually gonna look, because Darkseid is, maybe he'll be seen in the film. I want to see him. I think if they're gonna make a New Gods film, he's fundamental. Just like Highfather, just like Orion, just like the Forever People, just like Big Barda. But my suggestion is this: have a New Gods film that is very much like Guardians of the Galaxy, and it has the potential to be leaps and bounds above Guardians. Why? Because the New Gods are a much more interesting group of characters, and they have a rich lore, and they have their own realms to exist in that are separate from the universe, kind of like how Guardians seem like they exist separate from Marvel, but they're in fact just in space. But the New Gods actually exist in the fourth world, which is a separate dimension. So what you could essentially have is, the story centering around Orion, Light Ray, some of the other New Gods on that planet, but more about their friendship, and about him traveling to Apocalypse, fighting his brother Calabac, and eventually coming against Darkseid, being defeated or whatever, or trying to reach Darkseid. This could be his first quest where he's tried to reach Darkseid. Now, for people that don't know who Orion is, and I want this video to be quite short, Orion is the son of Darkseid, the legitimate son of Darkseid. There was two planets, New Genesis and Apocalypse. New Genesis is paradise, Apocalypse is like hell. Apocalypse is where Darkseid resides and where Steppenwolf came from. Steppenwolf was the villain in Justice League. Orion is Darkseid's son, and him and Highfather, so Highfather from New Genesis and Darkseid from Apocalypse, traded sons so they could make a pact, so they could have a truce, right? So Darkseid's more powerful son, because Darkseid's, I'd say, more powerful than Highfather, goes to New Genesis and becomes a hero, and Highfather's kind of powerless son, which doesn't make any sense because Highfather's like the strongest god of New Genesis. His powerless son goes to Apocalypse, and he's kind of more of a Batman type character. He's a master of escaping. He's not directly he doesn't have any strength or anything like that. He's kind of very much, he escapes. He's got gadgets. Very cool character, kind of a Batman. But he goes to Apocalypse, and he kind of spends his whole life escaping from Granny Goodness, who is like a torturer on Apocalypse. Anyway, they trade sons, but the film could be about Orion's quest to go and find Highfather's son for the first time, or it could be, there's a lot of things we could hit, because it's basically gonna have to be an origin story, so there's a lot of things that could be hit in this film to do with like Darkseid, Orion, Highfather, Orion going to Apocalypse for the first time, seeing the world that he was born on, Scott Free, who is Mr. Miracle, who is Highfather's son, seeing his home world for the first time, after Orion's gone and rescued him. And Orion doesn't even have to rescue him. Orion could get there. How I perceive it is, Orion gets to Apocalypse, fights all these parademons, fights all these other New Gods kind of in the process, maybe two New Gods. Not Steppenwolf, because he's already, maybe this is before Steppenwolf died, but not Steppenwolf, maybe Mantis, maybe a few like Mantis, maybe Calabac. So Mantis is a more powerful New God, and Calabac's Orion's brother. half brother, because he's Darkseid's child of another woman that wasn't Orion's mom, and he looks kind of more like a troll. So that could be a good fight in the film. That would be very interesting. But maybe when he gets there, because Mr. Miracle's a master of escapology, he's already escaped. You know, they identify each other as allies. Maybe they have a little confrontation first. But that could be kind of a big part of the film. Maybe that could be the second act, or maybe that could be the end of the first act when they meet, and then the other two acts of the film is about them kind of working together with, you know, each other, trying to bring Darkseid down from the inside. But hey, guys, I've been Fiji. This is where I think and I feel. This is big news for me. This is really big news. At the same time, I don't know if they'll execute right, because the DCEU, for a lot of people, haven't been executing. Whereas I still stand by Justice League being a good film. I still think Justice League was really good. But at the same time, I understand people's opinions on it. And I understand people's opinions on the entire DCEU, especially in comparison to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which has kind of made itself, you know, it's kind of organically created its own reality. You know, it's created its own version of the Marvel Universe with limited pieces. They didn't have all the toys in the toy box to begin with, and they've made it work. So, you know, I understand why people have this different perception of DC and Marvel. I think DC tried to go the same route as like the Dark Knight, and tried to go too serious, and the tone was too dark, and the characters were, you know, they had depth that they didn't need. Like Batman had all this depth of him being this sad, broken character, but that's not Batman. That's not what we want as fans. We want the Arkham Batman from the Arkham games. So yeah, and I could just be speaking for myself, but anyway, guys, I've been Fiji. This is where I think and I feel. This has been me talking for 7 minutes about the about the New Gods film. Anyway, guys, peace out. Wakanda forever, and please like and subscribe if you like the video. Share if you want to, it helps me get off the ground, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.